Welcome back to another episode of Tested. My name is Felix, and today we will have a look at the GnuCash budget function. Now, what can you do with a budget function? What every one of us will like to do, I guess, is to know if our expenses are matching the budget we planned. So if we have a salary of, let's say, $2,000 and we have expenses of $2,500, now that's too much, and that's why we have a budget, or we may want to have a budget to categorize our money and to put the money in, so to speak, envelopes. Now, what I read in the internet is that some of you or some people using GnuCash are doing this via the so-called envelope system. So they're dividing their checking account into several sub-accounts, and those sub-accounts are matching their budget expenses. So if they want to spend, let's say, $100 on books a month, now they create a sub-account of the checkings account called books. And each time they get their salary, they're booking it from their salaries account to the checkings account and into the sub-account called books. And they split their salary. So yeah, every portion gets, would be put in the sub-account. Okay, so that's one method to do it. Now, what we want to look at is the actual budget function that GnuCash offers. So I prepared this test project so we don't have to type in all the transactions, and we will start right with creating a new budget. Now, if you have a budget, you can click on Open Budget. You can create several budgets, by the way. If you have them, you can click Open Budgets and a selection list will open, and you can select the one you want to open. You can copy an existing budget, or you can create a new budget, and that's what we want to do right now, as we don't have one right now. Okay, so we create a new budget, and what this does is it gives us our account hierarchy, and this is the same one we have under accounts, so it's actually copied. And on top of that, we get a list of months, and those months are our budgeting period. So right now it's, I think, 12 months, and we want to change that. So we go to options. To open our budget options, we can rename our budget. Let's say this is the test budget for YouTube. And now we can say what is our period, our budget period. And right now it's every month, and we keep it at that. And we can say the number of periods that we want to plan our budget. Right now it's 12, and we will change that to 6 and click OK, beginning on the 1st of August, which is okay. Okay, so now we have 6 budget periods, and what you have to keep in mind that although it says the 1st of August, 1st of September and so on, this is always the whole month. It's not only one day, so yeah, those are our 6 months, and we want to plan our budget for 6 months. Okay, so first thing we have to do, we have to plan our income, because otherwise we don't have anything to spend. Now let's say we get about let's say $1,900, because in our test project, on our test accounts, we said we have a budget, a salary of 2,000, and later we will see what happens if there's a difference. Okay, we type in 1,900 for 6 months. I do this by left clicking on the next table cell, and this takes a while to open, so yeah. Okay, so now we have our salary, and this is $11,400, and we see here at the bottom our income, which is per month, our expected income. We don't have actually gotten the income. So as this is a budget, we expect the income to be 1,900 and in total 11,400. Okay, so now we have expenses, and this is the point that most of you, I guess, want to track or want to compare to their actual expenses, to their current expenses. Now we say groceries, because I have made some transactions for groceries, and later on we can compare them to the budget. And let's say we have a budget of $400 per month for groceries. So we enter it here. And as we enter it, you see at the bottom the numbers change, which is expected. Okay, so in the last video I briefly talked about GnuCash being a double entry bookkeeping accounting program, and that means that our total here has to be 0. And that is because no money is left over and no money vanishes in GnuCash. There's always 2 accounts where your money has to be booked. And that means if we have an income of 1,900 and only spend 400 of this, then yeah, where do the rest of this money go? Where does the rest go? And most likely this is into your checking account. Could also be the cash in wallet or savings account, but let's say we put this in our checkings account, and we say this is 1,500 a month that we expect to be in our checkings account. And what you see now at the bottom is that our total is 0, because putting money in our checking account counts as transfers here, and that gets subtracted from our income, which in the world of double entry bookkeeping is fine, because our money comes in our salary account and then most likely goes to the checking account. And most of the time the money comes directly from your employer into your checking account, but in GnuCash we have those 2 accounts. Okay, now we have created our little budget. We have 1,500 expected in our checking account a month. We have 400 in groceries, and we have an expected income of 1,900. As the salary account is a sub account, those get summed up in the income account. And one tip, don't change the income account amount here. You could do it. You could write here 1,900 or 2,000, but then in our reports, which we will shortly do, GnuCash counts those twice. So it will count 1,900 from the salary and another 2,000 which we entered here. So just don't enter something in the parent account. Okay, so now you see that's exactly what we did, as this is grayed out and this is like black. So we delete this and let GnuCash sum it up for us. And now we have the 1,900 and it's grayed out. That means it's coming from sub accounts such as the salary account. Okay, that's our budget, and now what we want to do is we want to do the reports on the budget. And that's actually the interesting thing. So there are a few reports, and I'm not going to talk about all of them, but about the ones I find most important. And the first one is the budget bar chart. And what that does is it compares your budget to the actual amount. Now, our checking account, we have an actual amount of, here it is $7,900, but we don't have a budget for it. And why is that? Okay, so the reason why our checking account budget doesn't appear here is that the budget bar chart report is generated for the wrong budget. And if you go to, that's what I did right now, if you go to options under the generals tab, now you see here the budget, and you can select from the drop down your budget. And what we created is the test budget. And before that I created some unnamed budgets, so they're appearing here, and GnuCash obviously takes the first one to create the report. So we're selecting our test budget for YouTube here and clicking OK. And now we get our budget sums, and we get the actual checking account sum. And now we compare them, and we can see that our budget in the first month should be 1,500. That's what's left over from our salary. But we have 1,690, which is great. Second month 3,000, but we have 3,100, which is great. We have more than we thought we'd have. So that's what the budget bar chart is good for. And you can change the accounts that are taken for the budget report in the options menu. You go to accounts, and now we say we want to see, what about our groceries? Did a good budget, or was it too much, or wasn't it sufficient? So now we see it changed to groceries, and we had a budget of 2,400, meaning 400 a month over 6 months. And first month budget 400, and we only spent $310, which again is great because our budget is bigger than what we actually spent, and that's always a good sign. Now in the 6th month of our last month of our budget period, our budget would be 2,400, but we only spent 2,000. So although we ate a lot of meat, as all the groceries that I made here are meat transactions, and quite a lot of them. Although we ate a lot of meat, that's actually fine because our budget was $400 more than we actually spent. Okay, that's it for the budget bar chart. Now the next report we can do is we go to reports, budget, and let's say we want to see the budget profit and loss. And this again is cool because we can see our total revenue and our total expenses and what is left. And now again GnuCash generates this for our test budget, and we have to change this. So we go to options and general and select again our test budget for YouTube because it took the unnamed budget, and we say OK. And now we get our total revenue of $11,400. Our expenses are, let's see, 2,400 because we spent almost nothing, and that is the net income for our budget is $9,000. So keep in mind that those reports are only generated for your budget and not for your actually account sums or totals. That is important. So that's our expected profit and loss, not the actual profit and loss. Okay, another cool feature, profit and loss. And of course you can change the accounts you want to see here under options and accounts. And you can also do the report only for a range of periods, meaning for a range of month, because one period here is 1 month, at least in our budget. Okay, next report. And what I want to show you here is the budget. I think it's called the budget balance sheet in English. No, that was the wrong one. Budget balance sheet shows your existing assets and your equity. And I guess it's not that important for you. If you are just a private user, you won't need that. So we want to use or see the budget report. And this is actually the more interesting part here. So what we have is we have our periods from August to this is January 2017, and it's showing us the budget and the actually spent amount, or yeah. And this comparison is quite interesting. So as you see, we have a lot of accounts here where we didn't have any transactions, and we can leave them out. For doing that, we go to options, we go to display and uncheck include accounts with 0 total balances and budget values. We do that, click OK. Now you see we only have the ones where we created our budget and where we have our transactions in. So again, no budget listed because we have the wrong budget set here. We go to budget and select our test budget, select OK, and now we have our test budget for YouTube here, and we see we have our current assets of 1,500, and the actual is 1,690, which again is great. Yeah, difference is allowed here, because if we have more than we expected, I think that's a good sign. On the other hand, salary, we have 1,900, but the actual salary is 2,000, which again is great because we have 100 more than we expected. And what we can do to show the difference even more clearly is go to options, go to display, and check show difference. Click OK, and now GnuCash shows us the difference between our budgeted values, or expenses, salaries, and the actual amount. Okay, so here, say we have at the salaries account, we have a difference of 100, but plus 100, and yeah, every month. So okay, so okay, in January we have a difference of 1,900 because I didn't make a transaction for January, only until December. So we have a budgeted income of 1,900 but no actual income, which is quite bad. Maybe I got fired by the end of December, so no income in January. Hopefully not. Okay. Okay. What we can also do is let GnuCash sum up our differences and our budget. And for doing that, we go to display and we check the option show column with totals, click OK, and now we get a total of our budget, of our actual values, and of the difference. And here at salary count, now we have a difference of 1,400 which is bad because we had no income in January 2017. On the other hand, in our current assets, we expected to have 9,000, but here we only have 7,900, and so the difference is 1,000. Okay, groceries the same. We had a budget of 2,400 and the actual is 2,000. Now we have a leftover of 300. So this budget report is actually quite good to compare your budget to your actual values in your accounts and see the difference in the different accounts and act accordingly. Okay, that's it. Those are the 3 most important reports, I think, of the GnuCash budgeting function. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up or leave a comment below. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Have a nice day. Bye.